And welcome back to another CBB Talk with your boy, Will Dickinson. Wow, Saturday morning episode. This is pretty early, just before 9 a.m. when I'm recording this. And it's one of my earlier episodes just because I woke up pretty early because I had to go take my parents to the airport. So I couldn't get one last night. Went to a high school basketball game, blah, blah, blah. Didn't have time to do an episode after the gym, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to be talking about the games today on Saturday. We got a lot of good ones in. I can't really remember Wednesday at this point, but I'm going to talk about some of the results that happened once I go over some teams. But really, we're just going to be going through the Saturday slate because, man, we got another good one. Big East delivering some big-time games. The Big 12 delivering some big-time games. And around the country, we're going to have some very key matchups that affect rankings, get quad one wins, drop some teams, boost some teams. That's what college basketball is about on a fine Saturday like this. And plus, we got some good NFL games today, which will be, of course, great playoffs. Divisional round doesn't disappoint. It's probably the best weekend in the playoffs right here because you have four amazing games with all teams that are usually contenders, maybe one or two pretenders. All right, but let's get into the college basketball, which is the most important part. I'm also wearing a little bucket hat today because why not? I don't even know if I've ever worn a bucket hat on one of these episodes, but if I haven't, got a little Georgia bucket hat. I think Georgia actually plays a pretty important game today. So we'll get to that later. Let's start out again. We always go in chronological order. 12 o'clock. The Baylor Bears ranked 9th in the country and are ranked number 13th in the country. For me, they're going on the road against Horns down. Ronnie Terry, don't get mad. Man, it's a problem really with I'm not a Texas fan. I find Texas fans absolutely annoying. This Horns, I hate the Horns. I think why you get if you're allowed to do horns up right in my face, then why can't someone go like this? Horns, I love doing horns down. Fuck Texas. Ronnie Terry got really pissed after they got upset at home against UCF. UCF players going horns down. He said classless. Who cares? I'm all for Baylor's on the road here. Texas does not have a tournament resume at the moment. They're at home. They're 1-3 in the Big 12 to start off, and Baylor's coming to town, coming off a loss as well. Texas -3 in this one. I think Baylor gets this done. Again, Jacoby Walter has been a great freshman. And I think that's going to be a key. Ray J. Dennis hasn't lived up to the hype. Misi's been very well, and then Langston Love. They have a lot of good role players over there. I think Baylor's one of the deeper teams in the country here. I think they can go on the road and get a win. Again, not easy in the Big 12, but we just saw Texas lose to UCF at home. They could lose to Baylor at home. I think 3 is a lot for a team that's right now not a tournament team. Texas should be better. I still believe in Rodney Terry, but he's making it harder to believe. I mean, damn. So far underwhelming season because you brought in a guy. You brought back Tyrese Hunter. You brought in a guy like Max Asmith and Kane Shedrick and Dylan DeSue's back, and they haven't lived up to expectations here. Texas needs a big win to turn around their season. This is one of the first great Big East matchups on FS1 at 12. The Blue Jays of Creighton head to New Jersey to play Seton Hall. Seton Hall, one of the hottest teams in the country, one of the most unexpected teams in the country, especially in the Big East here. I think they're 5-1 in the league. They had a really bad non-con. They've been hot in Big East play, playing themselves into the tournament right now. I have Seton Hall, I believe, ranked 24th in the country. 23rd in the country. Creighton has dropped out. They've really struggled in the Big East here, and now they have to go on the road against a team that hasn't lost at home in Big East play. Seton Hall's played really well. This team from Seton Hall, I mean, Shaheen Holloway's done an amazing job in his second year here. Kamari Richmond's been the guy. Dawes has been good, and then Davis also averaging 13. But Kamari Richmond's really been a star for this team, especially in Big East play. Creighton's been underwhelming. Baylor Scheinman's been the guy. Kalkbrenner hasn't been as good. Trey Alexander's had some really good moments this season, but the Creighton just hasn't played consistent basketball. And now you have to go on the road, but they are 2-point favorites. I don't like. Again, this is another game I feel like the wrong team might be favored. How are you giving Seton Hall, a 5-1 team in the Big East, who's won big time games, though the underdogs in this one? I think they're underrating Seton Hall, but maybe Creighton can get back on track here and get a win. if Seton Hall wins, they could be the number one team in the Big East as we go into Sunday. Another all right, yeah. So 12 also has another good Big 12, a Big East matchup. Marquette at St. John's here. Do not know if Rick Pitino's on the sideline because he missed their last game against they missed the last game against Seton Hall, I believe. With COVID, Marquette on the road here. Marquette's been one of the most underwhelming teams. I still got Marquette ranked. They're 17th in the poll and they're 19th in mine. They just have lost. This is one of the most highly anticipated teams in Marquette's history. They've been underwhelming. They're 3-3 in Big East play right now, and they're going on the road against a very good St. John's team who's played well at home this year, but they're coming off a bad loss. They need Pitino on the sideline here. Big match for both these teams. St. John's wins. They're going to be comfortably in this tournament field. Marquette really needs to win to get back on track and live up to these preseason expectations, because now as the season's going on, these preseason expectations are starting to fall out of the metrics, and it might be a rude awakening for Marquette. You got to start winning games. Tyler Kulik's been very hot and cold this year, and then they've lost Sean Jones for the season, so Marquette's lacking depth, and that could be a problem down the stretch here. St. John's favored. I like St. John's to win this game at home if Pitino's on the sideline. If not, I do think Marquette will get the win. Miami's at Syracuse. Miami's just is gone downhill. They lost to Florida State, and Florida State is playing really well. But Miami, a team that I think preseason top 10, top 12. Right now, I don't know if they have a tournament resume. Now they go on the road against a Syracuse team who's been a little cold in ACC play here. Let's see if Miami can get a road win because they need it. They've lost their last two games at home to Louisville and Florida State. They need a road win. Syracuse, they're not going to be a tournament team this year, but who knows? Try to get a win here. Virginia Tech's at NC State. NC State, keep winning games here. You could get a tournament bid. You're 13-4, 5-1 in the ACC. A really good start for Kevin Keatts and NC State so far this season in the ACC. Dayton, keep rolling. They play Rhode Island. Should be a win for Dayton. I got Dayton moved up to number 11 in the nation. Deron Holmes, one of the best players in the country. This team has reminiscence of that 2020 team that we never got to see how they would have fared in the tournament. A big-time game in the Big 12. We have Oklahoma going at Cincinnati. Cincinnati has been very good so far. They're 2-2 in Big 12 play. Could easily be 3-1 or 4-0. They've lost two close games. They just got a big win over, I believe, TCU earlier this week. Oklahoma has been they got off to a really good start in the season in non-con. I believe they only lost one game. I think they're 2-2 in Big 12 play as well. This is a big game. I have Oklahoma 18th. I have Cincinnati 25. This is a ranked match in my eyes here. On the road, I think Cincinnati will be able to get it done at home. Just again, winning games on the road. We talked about this last episode. It's damn near impossible. And in the Big 12 especially, it is. Cincinnati, man, win this game. This is going to be a hell of a season for the Bearcats. We've seen these new teams in the Big 12 already be a powerful force. We've seen, obviously, Houston's one of the best teams in the country. They proved it with that win against Texas Tech this week. I think that was one of the days I think that was a Wednesday or maybe a Thursday game. We've seen BYU be a ranked team. They're 2-2 in the Big 12. UCF has pulled off upsets against Kansas and Texas, and Cincinnati's had an amazing season as well. So the newcomers, they've taken some, welcome to the Big 12 moments, but also they've proven that they belong in this league. This is going to be a tough game for either of these teams. If Oklahoma loses, I don't know if they follow my rankings. It'll depend on how close the result is. But in Cincinnati, so far, a really good surprise for the Bearcats. A really good game on CBS, a Mountain West showdown. San Diego State's at Boise State. Boise State lost their first home game, I think, in this year and maybe even last year. I think they were on a 27-game home winning streak before snapping that this week to UNLV. Now they're at home again against a San Diego State team coming off a really good win earlier in the week against Nevada. I like Boise State in this one. They're +1, but at home, I think they're going to bounce back. Max Rice, Dangle Hall, Sorry, I can't remember all the guys in Boise State, and I think San Diego State's a very good team. Again, it's Boise State's key is stopping Jalen Ledee. He's been the star for San Diego State here, but I like Boise State at home to bounce back and win this game. +1, I love that. Again, I like San Diego State. I think they're the team to beat in the Mountain West. I really do. But winning games on the road is very hard to do in this conference. We saw Colorado State pull one out at home yesterday against UNLV, and UNLV is a tough team. They pulled some upsets this year, but I like Boise State. I'm not surprised San Diego State wins this, but this is a similar situation they were in last week. They were on the road against New Mexico, and I think New Mexico is a better team than Boise State. But you're on the road again in the Mountain West. CBS, a national televised game in Boise, doesn't happen that much in basketball. The crowd will be going wild there in Boise. I think the Broncos will pull off I guess an upset. But again, if the Mountain West wants to have a 5-6 bid league, you're going to need results like this with Boise State winning. I'm going to take a quick break, and yeah, we'll get some more games. All right, let's get back to it. 2 o'clock. We have a really good game in the SEC. The red-hot Alabama Crimson Tide, undefeated in SEC play so far, is on the road in Thompson-Boling Arena to take on Tennessee, who I believe is the best team in the SEC. The key for Alabama is stopping the red-hot Dalton Knecht, who has scored 30 points in like his last 3 games, coming off a 39-point performance earlier this week. He's been that dude. He has been that dude, but Alabama's been really good. They're finally catching up to where the metrics had them. Again, the non-con, they were playing good, but losing close games. Now they're playing good and winning games. But this is a different task going on the road in Tennessee. Hopefully they'll be able to get a full stands there. I know the weather's been bad over there in Tennessee. We saw that affect the Memphis game. I think Tennessee wins this game. I think Alabama's a very good team that can keep it close here. I have Alabama ranked, I believe, 24th. Yeah, I have Alabama ranked 24th in the nation. They're 12-5, but 5-0 in SEC play. Tennessee's only has dropped 1 game on the road against Mississippi State. I think they're home. I think they're the better team. I like Tennessee to get this win though. 5.5 points. That's a tough spread there. I think Bama can keep it close, but I do think Tennessee's a better team and they'll win. But if Dalton Knecht has a slow game, someone else is going to step up. Maybe it'll be Sagai Ziegler, Jordan James. Someone else is going to have Vescovy. Maybe can have a good game, but someone else is going to have to step up because you can't rely on Dalton Knecht to have 30 points every game. Even though he's been outstanding so far this season, one of the biggest surprises in college basketball. Iowa State TCU, really good game. Both teams coming off a loss, trying to avoid 0-2 week in the Big 12, which is going to happen. It's a very tough conference. TCU at home trying to bounce back after that loss on the road against Cincinnati. I think TCU's a very good team, man. I got them ranked, I still think 17th in the country coming off that loss. I push Iowa State out of the top 25. If they win, they're going to bounce back in and replace TCU. Winner of this game will be ranked in the poll next week. I don't know if the loser will, because that'll be a 0-2 week for them. TCU, man, it's Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell, Elijah Miller. That's their best player over there. They got really good depth at guard. And then PV's been really good. Ernest Uday, the transfer from Kansas. Anderson, the transfer from Oklahoma State. They've kept players, and then they've also brought in, and TCU has been very good this year. And Iowa State, they're a team that hasn't relied too much on the portal, and Taylor Lipsey's their best player, sophomore guard. From the team last year, he's taken a big step this year. He's been really good. Both these teams, believe, will be tournament teams, but I like TCU at home here. I believe they're the better team. Should be able to get done. You need to get these games done at home because it's going to be hard to get them down the road. Iowa State wouldn't fault you for losing this game at all going on the road in the Big 12. That is not an easy task to do. And I like both these teams again, but TCU, I just like their depth a little better. I love the way Jamie Dixon has turned his program around. TCU, man, I do think is a very legit team, and I think they'll prove me right today. But who knows? It's freaking college basketball. Anything can happen. Houston plays UCF. Should be a win, UCF. If UCF wins this game, I don't know what to say. I guess I would say shout out to the Knights coming in, and they've been good in Big 12 play so far. Purdue's on the road against Iowa. I don't expect a lot of trouble there. It's only a 6.5 point spread. I think Purdue's going to cover that and win. Iowa's an average team this year. They're probably an NIT team. But who knows? Could be a sneaky tournament team. Fran McCaffrey, I believe he is the all-time winning coach at Iowa now. I think that's what happened this week. Northwestern's on the road against Nebraska. These are going to be teams fighting for tournament, being on the bubble. Of course, Northwestern has some big time wins, but they've also lost some bad games this year. Nebraska, I'm not sure how good they are. They're kind of similar. They're in the similar boat. These teams are very similar. I compare them to a lot. At home in Pinnacle, Nebraska, you got to win these games, man. You got to get home wins against a comparable opponent like Northwestern, Boo Buie, Tomiaka. This is gonna be a good game on Big Ten Network at 2:15. Could see this going either way. I lean Nebraska at home. North Carolina's on the road against BC, and BC is not a bad team, but it's 6.5 points. It's the same spread as Purdue versus Iowa. UNC should win by more than 6.5 against BC, but who knows? North Carolina back on the road for the first time since their 3-game home win streak or away win streak. I love the way this UNC team is playing. They're playing like the best team in the nation. Clemson's on the road against FSU. Keep an eye out. FSU 5-1 in the ACC. They were 6-6 overall, or I think they were 6-6 overall. Now they're 11-6. They're on a 5-game win streak. Leonard Hamilton's turned his team around. Clemson's going in the opposite direction. They're 2-point favorites on the road. I like Florida State to get another win, move to 6-1, and then we can start having some real conversations about both these teams and their ways they're going towards tournament-wise, because it would be concerning for Clemson if they can't get this one done. Kansas on the road against West Virginia. West Virginia is the worst team in the Big 12. I expect Kansas to get a win. This is a pretty easy week for Kansas. 2 road games, but they're against Oklahoma State and West Virginia. It's nice to get these out of the way in 1 week, and if they can win this game, Kansas is looking very, very good. Texas A&M at LSU. A&M coming off a loss. LSU coming off a win. LSU is not actually a bad team this year. 2.5-point underdogs at home. A&M's a weird team, man. They coming off a win against Kentucky, then they lay a stinker in the middle of the week, and LSU coming off a win against Ole Miss. I think Texas A&M should be able to bounce back and win, but if not, I don't think Texas A&M will be a tournament team come March. Man, UCLA Arizona is supposed to be such a good game. It is just not. I guess UCLA I think's won 2 in a row, but Arizona win this game at home. Don't do this, Arizona. Stop losing games you shouldn't. Big 12 matchup at 6 o'clock. BYU at Texas A&M. BYU 2-game win streak after starting 0-2 in the Big 12. And Texas Tech game coming off a blown out loss to Houston. This game will be winner be ranked, loser won't. I moved Texas Tech out. BYU is not ranked for me, and it's tough to not rank the Cougars, man. I want to, but I like Cincinnati just a little bit better than BYU. But if BYU wins this game, they're going to be ranked. 3-game win streak. BYU lives and dies on the 3. Man, they shoot a lot of them, and they'll get them up quickly. Texas Tech, they're again Grant McCasland, Texas Tech. He's known for their defense, but they've been actually more of an offensive team this year. So this should be a higher scoring game here. I like the Cougars to go and get this one done on the road here. Didn't like what I saw from Texas A&M in that Houston game at all. Really showed no fight, and Houston just walked through them in that game in the Fertitta Center. I like BYU on the road here. I usually don't go with the road team, but the Cougars play better, and if they can shoot around 40% from 3 this game, I think BYU wins. But that's not easy to do, especially when you live in down the 3. You can be hit or miss, just like BYU has, and that's where they've got picked off this year. Georgia's at Kentucky. Let's see if Georgia can keep it close here. But Kentucky, good win earlier this week. I expect them to get it done, though, at home. Virginia's on the road against Georgia Tech. Virginia sucks on the road this year. Let's see if they can win a road game. It doesn't really matter. I don't think Virginia's going to be a tournament team this year. Let's see. Nevada's at Wyoming. No. Pitt at Duke. Shouldn't be concerned for Duke here. They didn't play a game during the week there, so they got extra rest. 8 o'clock, FS1, big time game. UConn at Villanova here. The number one team in the country's on the road against a Villanova team who's beat some big time opponents this year, but has lost to bad teams. Villanova at home in Wells Fargo, so they're playing in the Sixer Stadium, so it's a big time atmosphere here. Do not know if that's actually better for them. It might not get as much fans. I think Villanova is going to keep this close. UConn's Klingon was back last game, so I said he wasn't. That was his first game back. He played 16 minutes, didn't start, but that's a big return for UConn. Villanova, man, I like this Villanova team, but they just have lost some weird games this year, but they've played pretty well in the Big East. They have one loss, I believe, and it's to who's their one loss to? I feel like it was a team they shouldn't have lost to in the Big East, whatever. This is a game. Eric Dixon's been the guy for Villanova, and Villanova doesn't have a lot of size, so if Kling come in there and dominate, it's good. UConn kind of does it from a committee of guys. Alex Caravan will have his game. Cam Spencer will have a game. Tristan Newton will have a game. Klingon will have a game. UConn's just built to win big time games. They're not relying on one player. They're playing like the best. I say UNC's playing like the best team in the league. UConn might say otherwise that they are. Villanova, on the other hand, has been very good this year. Justin Moore has been, he's been in and out of the lineup, but when he plays, he's been good. Mark Armstrong. I'm very excited for this team matchup because I think they match up pretty evenly. Villanova, get this win, man. You're most likely heading to the dance. Honestly, this is a big time game in middle of February here. But if you lose this game, we got to take a look at Villanova's resume. They have good wins. Again, they beat a UNC team that's been really good this year, but then they've lost to a Drexel, a St. Joe's, they've to Penn. But this game is at home. UConn on the road here. I think UConn will win this game, but it wouldn't be a crazy shocker if Villanova pulled off the upset. Ole Miss at Auburn. I expect Auburn to roll Ole Miss in this game. Auburn's been really good. I think is Auburn up to 8th in my rankings? Yeah, 8th in that rankings after Memphis's loss. Ole Miss, they're probably frauds. I'm gonna be honest. They lost this week to LSU on the road. Now they gotta go and play one of the hottest teams in the country on the road in a almost damn near impossible place. So I expect Auburn to get an easy win there. Auburn might be the deepest team in the country. And then a late night WCC battle going on with St. Mary's, San Francisco, the two undefeated teams in the Mountain West. Watch out, San Francisco. It's a pick'em. San Francisco might be the scariest team in the Mountain West here. They have the best player in the Mountain West. Oh, what's it? His last name starts with I can never pronounce it. I'm gonna go look real quick. I pressed on the wrong thing, but I'm finding it. Jonathan Mbago. He might be the best player in the Mountain West. 15-4, 4-0 in the conference. I like San Francisco in this one at home here. Let's see if they can prove they're the best team in the WCC. St. Mary's, bad start. They've been playing really well as of recent. Michigan State at Maryland. Both teams. Michigan State's coming off a nice win. Maryland, on the other hand, isn't. Michigan State hasn't played since Monday. They're now they'll be on the road against Maryland. I think Michigan State's going to get this done. They need to get it done. Need to win back-to-back games. Michigan State, I believe, is like, what are they, 2-4 in the Big Ten? Maryland's most likely not a tournament team, but who knows? It was still early into the conference play. Memphis coming off that bad loss. Again, there was no fans there because of the ice on the roads and stuff. But they've been playing close games these last couple, and then they finally got picked off. They've had injuries or not as deep, and that's going to affect them the rest of the way. I think I moved Memphis from 7th to 14th in the rankings here. I still think Memphis is the best team in the American over FAU, but Memphis doesn't have a lot of amazing wins. And if you look at their schedule, they had good wins, and all their teams they played have gotten worse, which is a problem. Let's see if Memphis can get a road win against Tulane. That's not going to be easy. I could see Memphis dropping that one as well. Big news out of the Big Ten was Terrence Shannon's allowed to play again. I'm not gonna talk about if I agree or if I don't agree, because honestly, it doesn't matter. My opinion doesn't really matter. Terrence Shannon's back, and hey, as an unbiased fan, I like to see the best players play. And when Illinois had Terrence Shannon, they were one of the best teams in the nation. I got him 10 right now. Huge. I'm not sure if he'll play in this one at home against Rutgers. I think that's a good game for him to get back in the speed. Rutgers isn't good, and it's at home. Um, I can't believe he got. I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? I good get for Illinois. That's huge for them. That's all I'm gonna say. And Oregon Utah is a big Pac-12 game. Oregon coming off that loss to Colorado on the road. Now they gotta go play at Utah. I expect Utah to win, but who knows? If Oregon's legit, they can win that game. So yeah, whew, that's a podcast for you. That was about a 26-minute podcast, I would say, 25-minute podcast. Pretty efficient. Talked about the games, gave you my predictions, gave you my thoughts. Man, we got another great Saturday. NFL games also today. I'm gonna take the favorites in these. Ravens, Niners today, and then tomorrow, I'm leaning Lions and Chiefs. I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Are you serious? All right. Have a great weekend, guys. Love you. Peace.